I'm highly spiritual. 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 I'm highly spiritual.
Peace and love, friends and family. Welcome back to another episode of the Highly Emotional Podcast. I got somebody special in the building. If you have not heard of him, he's a genius. Welcome to the Highly Emotional Podcast, General Hellraiser.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, bro, I'm super excited. It's the front side. Yeah. I'm super excited to have you on my platform, bro. I've heard a lot about you. I've read a bunch of things that you have accomplished. The first thing I want to say is so I heard that you started your own nation. But before we even jump into what, your own nation is and whatnot, how did you even stumble across stepping into this path, this version of yourself?
I think just going through a lot of different situations legally, mainly. I guess just feeling in those situations, having a sense of, weakness to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Not really feeling empowered in certain situations and realizing, thinking it got to be a different way, a better way, or, something. You see what I mean? Like I said, mainly things pertaining to law, our rights and things like that.
So did you have the trap nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like growing up in the hood, scenario, and you was like, yo, it got to be something different to this, or was it something different for you?
Nah, that's the thing. I was never considered a trap nigga. You know what I'm saying? Even though I might have kicked it with trap niggas, stuff like that. But I was always kind of still on my own course and path or whatever like that, So, but guilty by association. So, of course, I still probably had trap nigga issues.
Yeah.
Because I was surrounded by trap niggas. But, yeah.
Yeah, because, that's how it kind of was for me, is even though I grew up around the trap niggas, my pops was one of the biggest drug dealers in the DC area. So I had a lot of influence when it came to that. But for me, it was I always wanted something more. I wanted something different. I didn't want to be like everybody else. I didn't want to settle for just going to jail or joining a gang or, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted more for myself. But I never knew what I was going to do with that. It was either music or just work a job for me. And for me, it was more, I'm going to just do music. And then now, 35 years old, here I am. So what was your first step of this process? What was the first, I would say, enlightenment moment where you was all right, I gotta step into this?
Just like you said, it's no matter what I was involved with or surrounded by, I always knew you had that feeling. You see what I mean? Where it's I know there's something better. You know what I'm saying? There's more to this. You see what I mean? I know that I'm personally more valuable, right? And not knowing, where that value's supposed to go or where we end up. Definitely didn't see this at all. My first direction was, your direction. I thought it was going to be music. At one point, I thought it was basketball for a short period of time.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's even with music, when I felt the attraction to music, I thought it was going to be just a gateway to something higher than that. You see what I mean? So I just felt like everything was like a stepping stone. All right, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm just going to keep on. But realizing damn, because each one of these different things are a trap and a matrix within itself. You see what I mean? So because when music came, everything else in entertainment, I dealt with models, managing models, managed artists. I was a rapper, producer. I also did videography, photography, and ran businesses in these different sectors, so graphic designer, web designer,
So you learned it. So you pretty much learned it all. So you was a one-stop shop.
Everything I've done, I've learned it. I've learned multiple things within each industry. You see what I mean? And that was kind of my thing. And then I kind of, once I kind of learned it, you know, performed it, provided as a service, I kind of grew out of it because I seen, once I've covered all areas, I realized there was a limitation for me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because a certain amount of time and energy I would have to put into it in order to be successful. Then the success was still, I think you can plan success in these industries, but you still got to be connected a certain way, maybe, for the, you know, so it's more so like just a maybe possibility, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully, you know, like a hoop dream. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but once I realized that, I'm like, this is not gonna, and it's hard to segue out into one industry into a certain other phases of life. You see what I mean? Because you're bringing what that industry holds with you. You see what I mean? The people, the things, and all the other stuff.
So did that pretty? I mean, because it sounds like you learned like all these tools, and then pretty much you can apply these to what you're doing now, because to get your message out there, to get your story out there, it's like you learn all these things. I mean, as you just said, like with the recording thing, like, nigga, this is just like recording music. It's even more simpler. It is. Than creating a song or constructing a song. Same with editing these videos that I'm doing myself now. It's really like engineering. Mm-hmm. I may not know everything about the camera, but if I know how to set that bitch up and then throw it into the program, I can edit it. So anyways, I want to ask you, like, what is, like, in a sense, like, what is your nation? Like, I know that's a very, like, simple question, but, like, what does that mean? Like, what does that represent? Like, what is that all in detail?
The nation of Malachi, the Malachian Empire, is a organization. It's a organization of people, of indigenous people, of all different, you know, branches, shapes, and sizes, that have, you know, similar beliefs, desires, and wants as it relates to, you know, autonomy, freedom, you know, and just the exercising of rights in general, on how we, you know, things we believe in, spirituality, you know, things of that nature, and just a unity of people together, a collective of people. So the people are the nation, and then we have the republic. The Republic of Malachi is the landmass and territories that are occupied by the people of the nation.
So what are the benefits of joining a nation or starting a nation or anything along those lines? Like, what is the overall benefit? Because, like, the way that I hear it, it seems like people can kind of, how can I say, like, you don't have to follow the laws of the government in a sense. Like, if you relinquish your citizenship, I don't know if that's like the same process, but like, how does it work?
Yeah, that'd be incorrect. You know, the reality of it is that we're not anti-government. Mm-hmm. You know, we're self-government, and it's not about not abiding by laws. We are law-abiding men and women. You see what I mean? But we also carry out our own law, our own body of law, within respect to the laws outside of our own government, which is the United States government and stuff like that, in which we respect. All we want to do is we want the laws to be respected in relation to our rights. You know, so we provide structures to help defend ourselves against violations of our rights, our human rights, and our God-given rights. So that's the issue that we have. We don't have an issue with any said law per se. We have the issue with any statutes or policies that contradict or limit our rights.
So basically, you pretty much like read through the law or assess the law and pretty much see how people abide to certain laws, but you kind of like say like, no, this is not what this is saying in a sense. Actually, this is what this is saying in a correct way. So like, for example, like one of my cousins, he was telling me, he was like, when you go to court and they say you or something like that without saying your name, like you're pretty much like relinquishing your power and giving it to them, like where they can control you instead of calling by your name, or like terms as far as like your children instead of calling them kids. It's like certain terminology like that is that how it works?
Yeah, words are everything. You know, words, you have wordsmith, you had wordologists, you have word magic. You know, you have all these different things that start off with words, and then which is the aspect of spells within spelling, right?
So like etymology.
Yeah. So the thing is that typically in situations like court, they do call the name, and the thing is, the name is presumed or assumed to be you, the flesh and blood man, and that's the contract. So before the court can proceed, they call the name and the claim number that's attached to the name in relation to that particular instance or court case. So what happens is they call the number and they call the name. You stand up to prepare you to aboard the ship, you know, and when you go past the gate, you know, you board the ship, and now you are in admiralty, and now you're in the jurisdiction of that particular court for that instance in relation to that matter. Because when they call the number and the name, you said I, and they say, and you also say, yeah, I am him. Because the judge looks at you and say, are you John Smith? You say yes. There goes the contract. So in contract law, you have offer, acceptance, and consideration. The offer was the acknowledgement of John Smith. You acknowledge, yeah, oh, yeah, me, that's you. You know, here go the consideration. The consideration is the debt that's due against the charge in relation to this matter, right? So now, and the acceptance is you saying, yes, I'm him. Okay, now the court may proceed.
So that's like a verbal signature in the sense.
Go back to any court case and notice that the court can't proceed until that acknowledgement and acceptance is done.
So then my thing is like, because when I think about this shit, it makes me think like, first of all, like, bro, I've been hearing this thing about like, you know, certain people in certain nations or certain groups of people can help me get off of child support. Since I've been on child support, bro, I've been feeling like a slave, bro, because I don't think that people realize what it does to our people, bro. Like, I had to literally sacrifice. If I work a regular job, I gotta sacrifice majority of my paycheck and then still try to provide for my wife and my children, even though my paycheck is being garnished and it's not even updated in comparison to like how much I'm making and how many children I have. So I was dealing with all this shit, and then everybody would always tell me like, oh, you know, try this person out or try this person out. So like, for somebody who's like me, who feels like they've been trapped by the system, bro, and they've been pretty much put into them chains where I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't go out of the States, bro. They randomly suspend my license. Like, so in a situation like this, how would this help me for someone who's suffering with the law in that sense? Because I didn't agree to pay child support. The only thing I agreed is to do anything I can to see my child, only for them to turn around and say, well, this is for child support, that is for custody, and these are two separate things. And then I just got placed on child support that I couldn't even afford, which was crazy as fuck. So like, how is that, like, in a sense, how is knowing these laws or being a part of a nation and having this understanding or this overstanding, how is it beneficial in a sense?
Well, I would say what we do is not typical or standard when it's relation to a tribal organization, just simply being a part of a tribal organization. So, because for one, we got to understand what we are. So we are a non-federal, faith-based tribal organization. But just because we are that does not mean that it automatically includes legal defense or education as a benefit of being a member. Because if we go back to the actual facts of the matter, like your boy did in the interview, but what's the name?
Oh, I know you're talking about.
You said, you know,
I was like, who's he talking about?
Like the facts of the matter is that because we have to do that because they automatically kind of categorize us as like sovereign citizen groups and stuff like that. Because if we focus in on what we actually are, it wouldn't be assumed that even came as a benefit. You get what I'm saying? Because if we go through the facts and we evaluate the condition and current state of the non-federal and federal tribes that are in existence today, it's about a little bit under 500 non-federal and around 500 plus federally recognized tribes in the United States. This is not something that comes with the territory. These are all classified citizens that are part of one major group. You see what I mean? That follow the same rules and regulations that may have certain perks and benefits that, you know, your standard citizen might not have, maybe like free schooling or extra schooling benefits or extra house care and stuff like that. But other than that, everybody's still within the same citizenship. You see what I mean? But for the simple fact that we do offer that legal education and stuff like that, that sets us apart, which is why we are of more valuable to ourselves and other organizations such alike. You see what I mean? So now we do help people, educate people on things like that. And you said something important. You said that you never agreed to that, right? So before we can tell you anything, we got to get you to understand that at some point you did agree to that. That's the thing. So we're not like, I'm not like the civil rights guy that be like, you know, hey, they need to stop doing this. We need to change this and change that. You're fighting against changing something that will never be changed in the aspect of changing. It's more so looking at the actual problem. Because if you just said, I did not agree to that, you have to believe that you would have had to agree to that in order for this to be possible, right? Mm-hmm. Because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. So you got to ask yourself, at what point within your contract was there a contract? You get what I'm saying?
I'm guessing I agreed when I showed up.
Where at? To court?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense. Or
said... In relation to child support specifically, by the time you get to court, you've already accepted liability and responsibility to that contract by the time they get you in court. You see what I mean? Because child support court is just like a bankruptcy court. Like, you typically sometimes you could see you see a judge, but there's an administrator doing a lot of things for you and stuff like that. They kind of like relay things to you and stuff like that, right? So it's a little bit different. That shows you that it's a third party. It's a lot of third party stuff going on somewhere, because child support is a third party to the court in general. It's a third party agency that uses the court to conduct administrative processes against individuals. You see what I mean? So what they do, and the reason why they go through the court is to be able to get legal power to be able to garnish wages. So in order to do that, they go through the court so the court can put an order in against your employer. And since you are a W-2 employee, that's another contract. Just based on a W-2 contract alone, technically still makes you a government employee. I mean, an employee of the government. So now, as a W-2 employee, and since the corporation is a corporation within the corporation, now, and if the owners are personally individual owners by personal, like legal classification as far as ownership of the corporation, like if it was a non-profit, or you work for an LLC, whatever like that, and Susan and Stan owned it, they're on the books personally, right? They can hold them personally liable, the business personally liable, which could leak into their personal liability or assets if they don't
garnish my wages.
If they don't accept the order requested by the court to give them the information they need to garnish your wages.
Damn.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's a process. So in order, because they can't just child support can't just go in and just take the money out, and they can't just go straight through your employer. They got to go. Ultimately, the employer sold you out. First of all, let's get that understood. Yeah, but they got to go. But anybody can go use the court to get an administrative order to garnish a wage. I can give you a contract right now, you know, and you have a promissory note and a security agreement, right? And you turn that into a performance bond. I give you 12 months to pay me X, Y, Z, and you're gonna agree to perform the pay because you gave me your employment information, so that's a performance. You agreed you agreed to go to work 9 to 5 to pay X, Y, Z every month. If you fail to pay, pay such amount and you go delinquent, now I have legal remedy. I go to the court, file a claim, and now I can garnish those wages. All right. So now let's go back again to the original contract, because that still doesn't explain the original contract.
That's what I was gonna ask you,
Right.
because before you give it away, is the original contract my name, my social security? Because I mean, I know that I am pretty much the product of America, or the Walmart, which is America. I am a product of America. So no matter where I go, my social security is tied to me, and therefore it's kind of like a barcode or a UPC of an item that's on the shelf at Walmart. So no matter where you go, if you scan that motherfucker, I still belong to the United States. So is that that's what you're gonna say?
The Social Security number is in relation to the Social Security number contract, and the Social Security number itself is nothing more than a tracking number for the person, the product that you're talking about. The original product was declared and created upon your birth when you got imported from the ship.
Wait, what ship you talking about? You talking about the ancestral ship? Like, what you saying that? Like, what do you mean?
No,
the ship?
the birthing. You got.
Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about. All right, I had to make sure. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you went to the dock.
Yeah,
and they imported the goods.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so they gave you a certificate, a manifest.
Mm-hmm.
So here goes. It was your name, the height, the weight, and all that other good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So now, but that also required an application. Everything requires an application. You have to apply. To apply is the instance of to ask or to request for some type of benefit. Remember, you're essentially a beneficiary in a sense and a trustee in a sense, but not in the best fashion, because you're still a liable party as it relates to the person. Now, on the birth certificate application, this is the one contract that most people are unconscious of, because that's typically during the situation, that contracting that was going on was in a situation where typically the man and the woman giving birth and the man that's witnessing the birth is not fully focused on the actual contract that's going on. Right? You focus
on my child.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But so what happens is that the contract part usually initially starts in the beginning, and then they get you to sign off on it, typically when a woman is about to push the baby out. And there's multiple signatures, autographs, and as well as the fingerprints. And they usually, a lot of times, you'll see them get the mother's fingerprint or thumbprint right, literally when she's about to. They have to get it right before that baby comes out. So it's to the point where the doctor will grab that woman's hand and put it on the application. So now we have the sureties of this situation right now. And so if you go, the reason why this is important is that, again, where did I agree to this? Where was the contract? Where was the offer? Where was the consideration? And where was the acceptance?
So are you saying I agreed when I signed my kid's birth certificate?
Yeah. But here's the thing. The reason why the person always has a way out is because you technically, in your case, during your birth, you couldn't have you weren't possibly at a point of legal competence to understand that you were going into contract. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? So there's always got to be a way out, or a back door, a way to re-solidify your position within a contract. Because now what I'm saying is that it's not, it's people that say things, oh, it sounds good, whatever. Like these are particular things that you can see and will see yourself if you go back and find the actual birth certificate application, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The birth certificate application is called the Voluntary Acknowledgement of Paternity, VAP. So it's voluntary. Remember, all this stuff is voluntary. So you voluntarily did this when it's a contract with the state. So at the bottom of the application, it tells you, well, in the middle of the application, in very small words, and then the terms and conditions are on the back. I know the mother and father didn't turn on the back either. It says in the middle that you have been given a verbal explanation of the voluntary acknowledgement of paternity. That's when the doctor comes and kneels down like, hey, Dad, so this says that and that says this, and just sign right here. That part.
That's crazy.
This is what happens.
Nah, hey.
So look. Then it also says that you do also understand that you have been provided and acknowledged your rights and responsibilities, your rights that have been created by you and waived by you by accepting and signing this application.
Damn, we cooked.
And on the bottom has your mother's signature and your father's signature. So not only did they accept those terms and conditions that they did not read on the back and those rights that have been waived, not knowing that they was waiving any rights, neither one of them people probably reserved those rights within that contract by signing UCC 1-308. And then at the very bottom of the application, it says if you want an authenticated copy of this application, contact www.childsupport.blah, blah, 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 blah. What does child support have to do with this application here?
That's crazy. That's crazy as fuck.
So child support slid in from the very beginning.
From the beginning. Wow.
From the inception of the product, from the manifestation. That's why everybody lost. Like, who the fuck are these motherfuckers? How do they, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do they have so much? That's why they got it from the very beginning.
So in a sense, how can you be free from these contracts? Like, even, okay, if you're not consciously aware of these things, like, is there a way to escape? You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're explaining all this, it just makes me believe like there is no way to escape the matrix, as people say. Like, people really think that you can escape the matrix.
I'll say this. There's typically a way to deal with most contracts, even the so-called big ones like child support. Like, if you say child support to most, especially most men, they be like, oh shit, that really makes them feel some type of way. That's like a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. But if you say child support to me, or my brother, we're gonna laugh at that because, like, child support, it's like they're a joke. You see what I mean?
Like the corporation.
They only have the power that literally you grant them. Literally. You see what I mean? Like in all literal sense. You see what I mean? So what I would say is that in the instance in relation to that in child support, mm-hmm. Yes. Now back to your point. The way the world is right now, and we're still so far. Now we cracked many codes. So many things to do. You see what I mean? So many different areas. So nobody has cracked them all. You see what I mean? So the matrix is all around us. That reality is all around us. That reality is so far advanced in this particular space. The only way that we do fully escape, in which we can escape, is when we tap in, mentally, spiritually, to our higher self, as far as our vibration, our frequency. Absolutely. Now that space, we're completely free and control of.
Niggas can't get us over there. You see what I mean? Sure,
and that's Zion. That's the other side. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's all about being able to coexist and being able to navigate. Remember, in the Matrix, it wasn't about getting rid of the Matrix. That was never even the conversation. You can't get rid of the Matrix. What was that? How do you defend yourself against the Matrix? How do you become conscious of an agent when you see one?
Let's talk about that.
How do you make sure that you stay in communication, in proper communication, proper alignment with your God brothers and God sisters? So, you could tap into that payphone. You know where the payphone is at and when to get the fuck out. You see what I mean? That's what it's all about. So anybody talking about you can completely escape the matrix and if I give you this, no agent will ever mess with you again, is a complete fucking scumbag. And they're out there and they're full of shit. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's literally impossible. All you could do is educate yourself and equip yourself to be prepared when they try your ass. Because again, back to the matrix. That no matter how strong Neo got, there's always going to be a time when an agent tries to test him for who he is. Period.
So that's what I was saying is like, you get a lot of people who say that you can escape the matrix. For me, when I hear people talk about escape the matrix, the one thing like I've learned on my own spiritual journey is how to manipulate the matrix by, one, it starts with my mind state, bro. It starts with my perspective.
Definitely.
I realize like, I don't have to be a victim. Like, I don't have to walk around with this mask of like, the world is always gonna get me. The police, bro. Or
That's
the
another thing,
like, I changed my perspective.
That's
So if
another
I see police, like for me, like I got simple things that I say, I'm invisible to the police.
Mm-hmm.
I'm invisible to the niggas who probably gonna hate on me. Like, I navigate how I need to navigate, but also I realize that no one can become or come into my reality unless I allow them to. I have to do something
You setting laws.
for you to get my my attention or for me to get your attention. So it's like, for example, niggas think that they're not attracting the police to them, but yet they outside with big sticks, Drakes, and this and that. You're bringing attention to yourself, not just from the police, but the environment, the people around you. So at that point, when I leave my house, and I know it's 3 ways that I leave my house. If it's me by myself, I understand that the world would perceive me, 1, as a nigga, 1, as a black man, or 2, as an op, right? So that's one way. If I'm with me and my wife, it's like, oh, they're a young couple, this and that. If it's me, my wife, and my kids, we're a beautiful family. So the thing about it is like, when I do leave my house by myself, I have to set my intentions.
You do.
Yo, I'm gonna go out here. I'm about to get what I need, come back, da-da-da. It's just like hunting out in the wilderness, nigga. You're not gonna go out in there and, go try to fight a bear, go try to fight a tiger. You're gonna get what you need and come back to the hut.
Exactly.
So like, that's my thing. But what was you about to say?
No, you hitting it 1,000,000% on the head, and that response kind of gives people the insight of the actual foundation that you need when coming into this space. When people talk about going into the private side and stuff like that, right? It's not because we can give you all the so-called remedy and information and paperwork all you want to, identification, whatever. If your mind is not right, if you don't have positive intention, positive vibration, high vibration, and high frequency, you're going to attract those things that's on those lower vibrations.
Facts.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. So you have to raise those bars, raise your Wi-Fi, connect your Wi-Fi signal. You know what I'm saying? And make sure don't shit penetrate that's navigating below that shit. You see what I mean? And that's part 1. You know what I'm saying? Or none of this stuff is gonna matter. We say that all the time. All the time. When people are like, man, this shit don't work, man. You know what I'm saying? The first question in an evaluation, like, hold on, where's your mindset at? And a lot of people out here operate in a very delusional sense. Like when we go and analyze people, because people want to put all the blame on the system in the matrix. And a lot of times, the matrix and the system and the agents within the matrix, they be on some bullshit, right? But just as much as they be on bullshit, and certain aspects of that particular system is bullshit, most people out here be on bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, out here doing stupid shit. And like, nigga, I would have locked your dumb ass up too.
That's facts.
No, it's not them, it's you.
See, when we start talking like that, then, they say we cooning. You know what I'm saying?
These are people that escape reality, which is why they will never escape the matrix.
That's
because
facts.
they are a matrix within themselves. They don't even know that. So technically, they're a double agent. You're a double agent.
You're doing it to yourself. And that's kind of like how I be talking to people, bro. Like, but my whole thing is like, a lot of people ask me like how I got to the point, because I don't know the laws and I don't have your knowledge. I have my own knowledge based upon my own trials and tribulations and how I overcame depression. But the number one thing was like, for me, like, my depression was cured by meditation. Mm-hmm. I also found God within me instead of going to a church. So anytime I need to connect, I can go out and hug a tree and feel the presence of God. Mm-hmm. Like that's what works for me. But I also tell people, like, when it comes to anything, like, bro, I use this sound bowl to regulate the energy in the room. For me, I use crystals, but without me, this shit don't got no power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is really just a placebo. So it's like things don't work. And I kind of be noticing like shit because I'll see people like, oh, bro, you take my vitamins, you take my CMOS, you take this.
Talk about this all the time.
But it's really you. Like I took CMOS. It did help me, but I had to believe that it was going to help me and be aware of like how it affects my body and my existence. So I tell people about meditation and niggas think like, it's like that. No, bro, I chose meditation. I believe that meditation was curing me every single time that I meditated, and I was willing to meditate. So that's the thing, is like, you hear people talk about escaping the matrix. In my sense, it's not about escaping the matrix. It's more about manipulating. Learn how to use things to your advantage.
Exactly.
Learn how to become aware and learn how to move. You have to, like you said, you have to maintain your frequency, but that doesn't mean like I'm all good, I'm all light. No, nigga, sometimes I'm shadow too.
Yeah.
It's about creating balance in my life. So when I hear people say these things, a lot of times they act like it's the cure, niggas gonna get rid of cancer. But no, bro, it don't work that way.
Nah, perfect. Another thing you said was, I think everything has a matriotic component to it, right? Or can, right? Just like everything has to have some type of equal balance, right, in order to exist in this particular realm.
Absolutely.
There has to be good, bad, left,
masculine,
right.
You feminine, see what I mean? Sure.
Right. So if we look at something like, social media, right? Artificial intelligence, right? There's a lot of darkness to that.
There is, for sure.
But a conscious person, an aware person that's confident and secure in their level of the spirituality and their own frequency. Yeah, exactly. Is able to identify that for what it is, accept it for what it is, and kind of like move that back in order to reap the benefits and the potential power of being able to utilize or manipulate, in a positive sense, to serve their best interests while navigating in this particular world.
No, that's facts, because a lot of people, like, I get a lot of people who want to do things that I do, and they're like, bro, I don't know how you do the social media. And I'm like, bro, it's all about your perspective. You using it as a consumer, and you're not using it as a tool to brand yourself. It's like a lot of these things are for marketing. You have to learn how to use these tools. They're tools, but if you're abusing it, that goes back to like what I say about like extremism. Like, everybody talks about being woke, bro, but you can be an extreme woke nigga. The government is out to get us, but it's like, bro, it's not. The world's not really truly ending. Like, yeah, there's bad shit, but there's a lot of positive shit going on, bro. You just have to be tapped in, and you have to be aware of everything that's going on. So like, I observe a lot of things, bro. And for me to like believe something, I gotta know that it works for me, but it's all about me choosing for it to work for me. It's like faith. I say it all the time, bro. Is like, you got a Muslim nigga. He prayed for 30 days, 7 times a day, that his cancer is cured, right? You got a Christian nigga who beats his wife, and he prayed every day, go to church on Thursday or Wednesday and Sunday, and he prayed to Jesus and prayed to God for his cancer to get cured, and it got cured, right? You got a spiritual nigga who's out in the wood, don't know no religion shit, and he just say, I am cured, right? And he's healed. The thing about it is, I say, who prayed to the right God? The thing about it is all of them, because it's about your belief. So me going to, like, in a sense, joining your nation, if I don't truly believe that that's going to work for me, it's not going to work. Yeah. That's what everything in the world, Thanks. Your mind is how you perceive your reality. So if your mind is fucked up, you're going to be living in hell.
All day. It's going to be a repeated cycle. 100%.
So yeah, so that's my thing. But I was gonna ask you, I was watching one of your interviews, and it was saying that anybody who joined your nation, they can't use their government name. I want you to dive into that.
Yeah, things change all the time. In the very beginning, when we actually organized as our own independent nation and tribe, we were, of course, more lenient on things. So there's like a lot of things are changing right now because a lot of things within the United States government is changing. So we have to always, in order to continuously grow and to evolve, we have to be subject to change. You know, that's the cousin to growth. So, bro, I'm damn near changing everything right now. You see what I mean?
Oh shit, you in the process?
Yeah, because you can't. It has to complement where everything is going right now. You see what I mean? You can't just stay stagnant to it doesn't work like that. And there's no way we would have been able to advance as quickly as we have within these this short decade. You know, and to even be a talked about force in relation to the same conversations as other tribal governments. You know, that's been here. You know, 100 years plus. You see what I mean? So that's something people got to really think about. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. But as far as the government name, it goes back to our biggest issue and our biggest goal and focus is to do whatever we can to protect the interests of our people, of our members. So if we know the government name is tied to something that the United States classifies or looks at as their property that they have interest in, then it's best that you leave that alone and outside and in the public where it belongs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That way there could be no confusion and no assumption that they have any interest or say so in anything within the inside of our covenant. Why? Because we started everything from scratch, everything brand new inception of the new you. You can't bring Mr. Anderson to. Did you ever see fucking Mr. Anderson go to Zion? No. It's the reason why they both, you know, it's two different people to a certain sense. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but before we bring you to the other side, we got to get that bug out your chest first. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, remember Neil got in the car, they're like, hold on, what the fuck? Oh, shit. Oh, it's inside there. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. He's bugged. Yeah. He's bugged. You know what I'm saying?
Took that bitch
fucking government name out of here, man.
Yeah.
And now, we say that because people are walking around with it, with that I-my syndrome. Oh, it's my name, my birth certificate, my social security number. It's funny. At some point in time, we all said, my social security number. That's crazy, though. My social security number. And then probably took 30 years plus to turn that motherfucker around and be like, damn, this motherfucker said the whole time that this motherfucker don't belong to me. And you need to give it back if we ask for it.
That's crazy.
Never read the contract. And that's a small one, too. But you signed it. You signed it.
And you keep using that motherfucker, too.
And guess what? It only affects you and follows you where you bring it.
That's facts. Hey, I agree with that. I've been operating this Tuesday Night Swim for like 9 years now, and that's what everybody know me as too.
And they gonna always try to find a way to connect. Just like I'm selling something on Facebook right now, and but I'm only taking cash, you know, or other means of payment, you know, within myself to sell it. You know what I'm saying? So, but they want to give you the choice to process payments through their payment system, but they gotta confirm identity and they need your social security number and all that stuff. Now, if y'all can't do it as no business or no trust, I'll pass on that. You see what I mean? That's a choice. You go into contract because remember, if you go into contract just we only focus on what we're doing at that current moment. Oh, I'm just trying to get this money, sell this, woo, like that. But if I'm like, oh, hold on now. Now you do know if you provide this information, you know, to confirm this identity of this particular person in relation to this, you do know we're Meta, right? We own Facebook as a whole.
Yep.
And we also own Instagram as a whole.
Yeah.
We also own WhatsApp as a whole. We also own a lot of data as a whole.
Gotcha.
And we are subject to sell this and share this data amongst our friends as a whole. We do know the affiliation with the FBI and Facebook, even before Meta. See what I mean? Yeah. So where did you agree to that? Somewhere that you weren't even realizing that you was agreeing to it. You just tri-merged your shit into the system.
That's true.
So again, being conscious of contracts, you know, Conscious of contracts. So the government name is a liability. That's why the government name is a liability. We just simply don't deal with. We acknowledge the person. We have to, of course, acknowledge and verify who these people were in relation to the corporation before we bring them and accept them into our tribe for our safety.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But after that, yeah, just like if you join any tribe, honestly, even that's not even as strict or as understand in the law as we are. If any tribe, that's the process. You come in as such and such. My brother, you come to us on this day as Jonathan Snow. Today you will become Ashabak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and from that day, you are Ashabak. To us, it don't matter who the fuck you are to them. Yeah. So again, if we remind people again of who we are a tribe first. It will make a little more sense. You see what I mean?
So another thing I wanted to touch on is I heard you wrote your own Bible or created your own Bible.
Yeah, the Malachi Bible.
What made you do that?
Our faith is our foundation.
So what is that? Like, what is that detail? Like, how did you put it together? Like, in a sense.
The main thing I want to do, I wanted to keep it simple for one. It's, like I said, it's more so just a guide. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like your traditional religious book that tries to get people to worship a particular thing or deity or entity. It's more so a guideline or blueprint to help people find God within self. So the closer we get to self, the closer we get to God.
Is that the mission, like, overall? Yeah, because I had thought about an idea similar to that. I had thought about starting, like, my own language with my kids. I actually, like, wrote, like, a good 30 words that I have saved, and we have, like, terminology and stuff like that. But when it comes to, like, teaching my kids, I got 6 kids, and the last thing I want them to do is believe that they have to worship someone or something and then relinquish their powers, because it's truly on them to have a relationship with God through self.
Exactly.
So I'm not big on religion, but therefore I study a lot. So I read books on Buddhism.
Exactly.
I read books on Christianity because I believe that there's a message in everything. So I was like, when I heard you wrote your own Bible, I was like, this is a dope concept. But I wonder, like, in a sense, like, how does that work out? Like, do you read it often? Do you go over it often? Do you practice it with other people? Or is it just something that you have sacred for you and your family, in a sense?
No, it's for the entire tribe.
Okay.
Yeah, or inside or outside. You see what I mean? It's no, just like the doors of the church is always open. You see what I mean? But so it's something that we practiced and study together collectively. Every Wednesday night we have Malachi Bible study and meditation. You see what I mean? So we have our quote unquote Sunday schools on Wednesdays. And then, of course, something that I personally practice within myself to keep myself, sane and, vibrating high within myself. That was meant to be a religious blueprint, as well as, a spiritual guideline, as well as a weapon of defense when it comes to our rights, because a lot of our God-given rights and stuff like that is embedded inside the Bible as well. Because it's our religious right to travel. It's our religious right to bear arms. It's our religious right to self-identify. It's our religious right to self-govern. It's our religious right, and it's not that we just say it. It can reflect inside of our spiritual context of our spiritual scriptures inside the Malachi Bible. So that's our proof and evidence of such. So if anybody infringes on that, we can pull that out.
So do you pray?
Meditate.
Yeah, because I don't pray. Like, when I be saying that, people be thinking I'm crazy, and I'm like this is my relationship with God. One, I'm a firm believer that if God is at the forefront of your life, then no matter what your situation is, whatever your hurdles or roadblocks is, if you believe in God, which is through yourself, you know what I'm saying, which is everything in existence in a sense, then I don't need to pray my way out of certain situations. I know that I'm going to be delivered. That's how strong my faith is. So I tell people, like, I don't pray no more. I used to pray, and it would always be in those moments of, like, oh, bro, I'm about to go to jail. Like, please, hey, Jesus, please, like, get me out this situation. Please, like, look, man, you get me up out this situation. I'm going to church tomorrow. Like, that's how it would be for me. But then I realized, like, sometimes that shit would work. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes that shit would work. But then I realized I was doing a disservice to God because it was kind of like as if God was my servant. You know what I'm saying? I'm only asking God for all these things. Yo, God, yo, please, yo, let me wake up tomorrow with that bread in my account. Like, and then I realized that I was putting too much of my, how can I say, my accountability on something else. It's on me to go get the bread. It's on me. Like, that's where I believe in, like, the universal laws and, you know, the Hermetic principles and stuff like that. Is like, I can manifest anything, but I still have to vibrate towards it. So in a sense, I stop praying, bro. Like, I don't pray to God like that. I just have a conversation. Like, and it's more of a sense of like just having gratitude, bro. It's not asking for anything. It's not, you know, wishing upon a star for something to fall out the sky. It's all about me aligning myself and going out to get it.
Gratitude is the key. Gratitude is the key. Always showing that gratitude, you know, and that love and appreciation for the source, you know, for, you know, the current situation you in, you know, is like, you know, just always recognizing, you know, outside the bullshit, you know, it's still all good type shit, you know, and yeah, definitely not, you know, volunteering yourself, you know, circumstantially volunteering yourself into spiritual contracts that you're not going to commit to just to get out of a jam real quick.
Yo,
because that's exactly what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, them contracts is crazy.
Hey, just look, just one more time. I promise you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be there Sunday, bright and early. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, all that stuff is all important. It's all important for sure.
So did you ever have like a spiritual awakening, like where this like something changed for you, or is this like how you grew up? Like your folks taught you like to be this way, to like believe in yourself, find God through yourself, or like you went on this journey yourself and found God?
Shit, I had to go to hell a few times.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's always shit. Yeah. All the time, you know, it's always continuous shit, spiritual awakenings, reminders, and all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? To kind of like either get you on the right path or to keep you on the right path. You know what I'm saying? So 1,000,000%. But now what I can say in more context, I don't think, even though my experiences were dramatic sort of and spiritually, they started very early. You know what I'm saying? Like the spiritual challenges, the spiritual fights and the spiritual wars. They started very early. So early on, even I was doing this and doing that, you know, dumb street shit, you know, just trying to find myself, but you know, just being surrounded by the wrong people and influence. I was always looking for like, I don't know what about me was always like looking for. I believed in things that most people around me thought I was crazy. I was always like knew like there's higher powers and other, you know, and what outside of human existence type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was always in solitude because of that too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I would always have these wars, direct wars with demons and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Or dark force and stuff like that. That was kind of like, they know when you're trying to reach for higher, and they know when you're still kind of on the fence, and they know when you kind of like are a vulnerable spirit, you know what I'm saying? When you're younger, you tend to be, even though if you're powerful, but you still be vulnerable to particular things that you don't understand because you still have certain fears.
On some Star Wars Anakin type shit.
Yeah. And I know they knew that, so they was trying to, you know, cuff me up before I kind of, you know,
trying to get you to the dark side.
Yeah. And literally, like, like any point in time, you know, we can take this pain away. You know, any point in time, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to struggle no more, you know? It was lining them up. You want Jesus, you want Allah, you want, you know what I'm saying? At one point in time, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Jesus, take the wheel. For a split second.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I held on type shit, you know?
No, that's beautiful. Yeah, I deal with the same type of shit, bro. Like, I grew up in a church. everybody telling me to go to Jesus, and that it worked for a little bit, but then I realized it wasn't a stopping point. I feel like everybody get caught up in like just the church, and then you're confiding your faith into one person. And I was always like, this person don't have the answers to my questions. So then now I realized that I don't need to listen to you and your relationship with God. I could just skip the middleman, go straight to, you know, God himself or herself or itself or whatever context people want to use, and have that relationship through me. And that kind of like, bro, it was like a sonic boom to my life where, like I said, bro, I just surrender. Like, I don't even know how things align, even with the podcast, even with all the things that are happening for me. It's just happening, and I believe that it's in my favor. So that kind of like, that's how it's been for me since really 2020 is where I was just like, yo, hey, I'm going to just allow you to guide, and I'm going to observe, and I'm going to enjoy it. Like, I'm going to enjoy every moment, even when the times are bad. I'm going to find the lesson. So that's what it was for me. But I was saying, that's what I was thinking about. I'm really interested, bro, in the ceremony, the ayahuasca ceremony.
Okay. The
thing about, from what I heard of it, one, I be seeing videos where people are like, don't do it, it's gonna mess up your brain and this and that. And then I hear other sides of people where they're like, yo, it changed my life. Like, I really understand things on a next level. My fears for me is like, I know certain shadows, certain trauma. Like, I'm a very emotional nigga, bro. I'm a very emotional man. I'm highly emotional. You get what I'm saying? I'm an Aquarius, bro. My birthday, February 6th, just passed. It's just turned 35.
Yeah.
But, so I know that about myself. That is my superpower, bro. Like, I can feel empathy on supersonic levels, bro. But so when it comes to like having the ceremony or being a part of the ceremony, I just want to know, like, I'm protected, bro, because I don't want to harm myself. It's not about hurting anybody else. It's about harming myself, because the trauma that I know that I've endured in my life, that I've chose to, instead of reacting and being a victim of my trauma, I've chosen to be the hero. I've chosen to love, even though I got all this trauma in the back of my subconscious or in my heart. So my thing is like, is that something I have to worry about? What do you feel like? What's your theory on it or whatnot?
I think your concerns are valid. I mean, it's the unknown. You know what I'm saying? I think our greatest fears and challenges is like we all, you know, reach for higher self, but we actually at some point were or are scared of our higher self. You see what I mean? Because in order to get upstairs, you got to kind of leave downstairs.
That's a bar.
And sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the reason why you say you only took 3 instead of 7. You see what I mean? Because you know, because you felt a little bit of higher self.
Yo, I was like
shit, I don't know about going all the way up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's really what it's all about. And that is the cause and effect of the experience of going through the detachment phase. Right? You're detaching yourself on what you even perceive self as being. You see what I mean? Like, they really have no relation, you know, outside of, I would say, the true essence of your spirit. But as far as in this regular memory bank, you got 2 different memory banks. Well, several actually. You have your mental, your mind, your brains, and you have your spiritual. You have your spiritual memory bank, tapping into everything that your spirit has remembered, decoded and encoded, and programmed inside of your existence. You see what I mean? So, but a lot of times there's blockages between that and the other, and this one plays tricks on your mind, playing tricks on you. See what I mean? It blocks what your mind thinks and perceives higher, because all it can do is perceive what higher self is. You see what I mean? And even lower self. And higher self is a combination of the embodiment of lower self. You see what I mean? That's why with ayahuasca is an interesting experience, because before you can go upstairs, you got to go downstairs.
Oh, fuck. Fuck.
Now, regular DMT, you might be able to skip that.
I mean,
right?
I'm ready. I'm only afraid of harming myself, because how big my heart is, bro.
Nah, you good on that.
That's-
I think ultimately you're 100% right, and I always recommend that, especially for ayahuasca, for you to always do your first time in the midst of ceremony. You do that with ceremony, in the proper ceremony. With
What's the
proper
process?
People.
Like, far as the like, what is the details of the ceremony? Like, how
like
does it,
in ceremony.
Yeah.
What we do is we'll set the tone, set the vibration, everything. We're real. I think we're kind of unique. You know what I'm saying? We don't overdo things when it comes to like we real regular at the same. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when it's game time, it's game time. It's all about good energy is good energy. That don't mean that we had to be walking around the whole day acting weird and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just putting on this show. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's all about good energy and positive energy. You know what I'm saying? Just being free. You might just want to roam. You know what I'm saying? Like we pick our locations very strategically. You know what I'm saying? Because we want people to be able to just explore. If you want to go on your own, go explore, take a walk in the woods, do whatever, go get a massage, go do whatever the case is to relax your mind, your body, and to prepare your spirit. Now, once we get ready for the ceremony, now that's a different preparation. In ceremony, we might go to an element like the fire, so if we're outside. And then so now we got nature, we got the fire and stuff like that. Then we usually we have the vibrations playing, some type of hertz of some high vibrations and frequencies playing to take everything to the proper level. And then we do what we call rapé. So rapé is a sacred tobacco. It's kind of uncomfortable, but
that's the shit you put in your nose.
Yeah, but essential.
Okay.
Essential. It really so we blow it into both nostrils or whatever like that, and what that is, that declassifies the pineal and like helps ground you. Depending on how strong the rapé is, determines how strong it grounds you, how deep it grounds you. You know what I'm saying? Some rapé can literally put you on the ground, literally. You see what I mean? You might need some seconds to get up or whatever like that. And so once you get past that, now you're going to be at a different center of space. You're going to be prepared at that point. You see what I mean?
Oh, this is before?
Yeah, this is before.
Oh, I thought it was after.
So this is rapé ceremony because you got to get grounded first. You know what I'm saying? So then once you do that, you can go right into it. We don't recommend it. You're going to have a better effect if you go through the rapé ceremony first. So we do that. And then if it's DMT, we do the DMT. If it's ayahuasca, then you'll just do the ayahuasca. Specifically for ayahuasca, that ceremony is a little different. They'll do you'll drink the ayahuasca because it takes longer to process. So you like when we did it, we had a big tent, so we all laid down in our had sleeping bags and stuff like that. And then we have everybody else that's not taking the in ceremony, those are our watchers, our spirit guides, and stuff. People to protect help protect the space and to monitor people as they're going through transition, right? So we're very conscious of that, so that's very important to us, making sure we are there to defend our spiritual selves while we're going into transition. You know what I'm saying? So ayahuasca is gonna kick in about 30 minutes after you take it, and that's when you're gonna start going through the motion. And like I said, it's 10 times more dramatic as DMT because you're really going through a full process, and it takes it can take up to 3 to 4 hours, as opposed to DMT, it maybe be like a 15-minute experience. So a lot of people are gonna go through the vomiting, and so it depends on the person. You might go into a laughing phase. You might go into a crying phase. You might go into both.
Hey, I'm down to cry.
You say you like hugging trees. I know I'm going to see you climbing a tree. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, don't let me climb a tree.
It's like, within the range, as long as you're not hurting yourself. You see what I mean? But that might be, you're going to because your sense of mother, right, you're going to be like, oh, you've been walking on grass, but not realizing that you was rubbing her hair. Literally. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're already a tree hugger, you're gonna be like tapped all the way in. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
To like really understanding that. So I would recommend definitely a ceremony for the ayahuasca for sure. Anytime you get a chance to do the DMT, definitely go for it. Just be advised on which DMT
I'm
you
going
taking.
with you. This is why we had the conversation. I'm locking in with you.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we got two different types of DMT ceremonies. One with we call blue pill, and the other we call red pill. You know, blue pill is the DMT that's extracted from the mimosas plant.
Keep going.
And we got red pill, which is extracted from the toad venom. The toad venom is gonna trigger your root chakra first, and then the mimosas one is gonna trigger your pineal and your crown and your third eye chakra first, or pretty much up here. So root chakra, red, root, blue, crown, and third eye. And so typically we have people do the blue pill first, and we do that to kind of help remove the fear, because the blue pill is going typically gives you that first sense of empowerment of self. Once you get the first glimpse of who you truly are, like that your true essence of your true power, that surge, and you be like, I don't know if you watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, of course. I'm an anime head, bro. Look around.
Well, that's literally what happens.
You can't tell, but yeah, okay.
That's literally what happens.
Like Super Saiyan type shit?
Literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down, bro. I'm down,
so
bro.
once you get a sense of your true power, in my opinion, that fear is gone. So now you're gonna be ready to go to the red pill, not knowing
same time type shit, or
no, the next day.
Okay,
we're separated in days. Yeah, and but the red pill is a very different experience, because you got to go down before you go up. And some people, you know what I'm saying, but it does do the channel the rush, depending on where you are at, how much you harness. You see what I mean? Will determine how fast that fluctuates up.
So depending on how, I would say in a sense, like your mind state really is like how it affects you in a sense. So if you're like a really negative person, then you're probably going to have a...
True. We don't even recommend people that's negative like that. We try to kill that spirit before you come. I would put it like this, especially ayahuasca mainly, because there's a prep process before doing ayahuasca. Dieting, probably fasting and stuff like that.
Down.
There's you see what I mean? So because you don't want to come in, especially on the ayahuasca ceremony with any baggage. You want to try to dump as much mental and spiritual baggage as possible. But if not, you're definitely gonna, get rid of it doing address a lot of it doing that trip. But your trip is gonna be a lot heavier the more bags you bring on the plane. That's basically what I'm saying.
Nah, that's bars. I've been wanting to do that. Like I've microdosed with shrooms a bunch of times, but I ain't go across the veil, bro. It was in the company of my family. So I had to be mindful of how I'm experiencing things, because I don't want to throw them off. I don't want them to perceive me as like doing something crazy. So like,
yeah, you got to be in a space where you can completely detach. Again, you still went up under with limitations.
That's facts.
You see what I mean? Like it's like it don't matter if I'm typically ahead of the ceremony or not, leading the ceremony or not. You know what I'm saying? Like I always at least intend to have some of my qualified, God brothers and stuff like that around, because at some point in time, I'm not going to be there. You know what I mean? So he got to take the wheel. He got to, you know what I'm saying? Like in real time. You see what I mean? Somebody has to be able to take the wheel and help you through your transition sometime. You know what I'm saying? But you want to be able to freely go through it. You know what I'm saying? Within reason. And again, they're there to make sure you don't hurt yourself or hurt nobody else. You see what I mean? But because you're still thinking. You see what I mean? If you're still thinking here, you're not tapped all the way in. Once your spirit completely takes over, he gone. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to call you back, literally.
Yo, this shit deep. Yo, you saying it, I'm like, I just be thinking about like times where I didn't astral projected type shit, and I had to like, I remember one time I astral projected, bro. I got so deep in that shit. I was like, yo, what if I don't make it back?
It's always that way. To be honest with you, and the higher you change your frequency, you can change form. You can and transform. You can. But what I will tell you is this: is that with our experiences, you know, we take pride in you know, giving people the opportunities to have these experiences, to tap into their higher self. Like we really get, we really feel empowered by activating, you know, your superpowers. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally, if some people's, honestly, some people's are dormant, or some people's are not even there. So it's either gonna show who you are, or it ain't. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't. What I realized, that I had the wrong impression at first. I thought everybody kind of, but they're not.
For real.
They're not. I thought everybody that went through the process and went through this experience, even if they were kind of shaky at first, they will be enlightened. They will be changed, or nah. And what happens is it empowers you, because you still got to come back to this mind right here. It all depends on the condition of this right here, and connects to the spirit on what you do with that power. You know, you're either gonna become worse, you know, because the ego gonna take over after that. You know what I'm saying? Or you're gonna become a better version of you. You know what I'm saying? I learned that the hard way. You know what I'm saying? I realized, like, damn. You know, so our evaluation process is actually changing now on who we even let into that circle. You see what I mean? To experience that, you know. So,
yeah, I'm down, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's nothing you said shakes me. I'm aware of who I am. The worst thing on everything that you're saying, when I'm talking about self-harm, I just know how big my heart is. So that's like the extremism. But in this situation, I realized that the worst thing would probably be is me crying, and I'm okay with that because I need to cry. Yeah, I want to cry. Like I'm like nigga. Like I be telling my older brother, I'm like, bro. To be honest, what I be want to do on my birthday, bro, I just want to go to a white padded room and just cry, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I can cry right now, bro. Yeah. Like that's how I feel, because I feel like niggas endured so much pain, so you need that release. But I want to see the other level of myself, the highest version of myself, and I'm willing to do that. That's me. Like my thing isn't like, oh, I'm gonna die and you know I'm gonna, like, I don't think like that. That's not my intentions. But I just want to know. I like to hear it, so therefore I can, in a sense, like reassure myself, like, bro, like you don't gotta listen to all the, because there's negative shit out there. You know what I'm saying? It's same thing with shrooms, same thing with weed, same thing when I used to do lean and all that other bullshit back in the day. It's the same thing. There's extreme situations, but then you hear the positive things about it. Like you hear how it helped people overcome other traumas. I done 2 years of shadow work. So it's like, okay, I've done 2 years of shadow work. I've overcame depression. I've healed myself from this. Why not take it to the next level? Why not find more of who I already know that I am?
Fact, bro.
So that's my thing.
We welcome you. You know, like I said, we gonna be in good hands with us for sure.
I'm down for sure, bro. Before we end, one, I want to say, bro, I really appreciate this conversation. It was super empowering. I know that anybody who finds this, they're gonna be tapped in. Is gonna change their life.
Vice versa. Thank you.
Before I let you go, I always ask 2 things of everyone who comes onto my platform. One, a powerful book you recommend, and then a powerful quote that people can apply to their life.
Well, I'll take it to the quote for the Malachian Bible. The closer you get to self, the closer you get to God. Man or woman does not need a third party to reach source. A powerful book actually is by me. And it's not just because it's by me. I promise you.
If it is, it's cool. People
I promise you it's not. I'm not like I'm not good at promotion like
yeah.
It's because this book is very important, and this book has particularly helped me survive mostly mentally survive and spiritually survive my most recent war. You see what I mean? And I just released it a couple weeks ago. It's called Attention Vampires. Very, very, very important book, you know, as it relates to controlling our most valuable asset and which is our focus and our attention, which is tied to our minds and our spirits. So in all aspects, we have attention vampires all over the place. You see what I mean? So I would highly recommend people grabbing that book off Amazon, like essential. I don't even want to go into. I'm just gonna put it out there, and like I say, I wouldn't recommend it if it wasn't, official.
I appreciate that, bro. Once again, like I said, I really appreciate you tapping in with me. To anybody who has enjoyed this conversation, make sure you hit a like, subscribe, share with your mama, your daddy, anyone you love. And until next time, peace, love, and light.
Peace.
Big Swim.
Peace.